At this time, we're going to do a Mayor's Monday message just from council chambers here to make it easy on Cliff. And because we're already set up, just wanted to, first of all, thank some folks for this weekend. Great new First Friday event at Penn Park. And I hear everything went wonderfully. And I was actually out of town, so I missed it. But I heard it was a really good First Friday. And First Friday downtown, people are doing a fairly good job of keeping their masks on and keeping social distancing. But if you're paying attention across the country, and even in Pennsylvania, things are getting much worse again. So kind of the Northeast had its rush back in March and April, and now we're seeing that the beach states, South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, places in Texas are seeing just devastating numbers down there. So we want to remember that we are not through this global pandemic. We got a little bit of a reprieve here, but we have to be, if we want to stay open, try to keep our businesses open, try to keep our economy going, we have to be extra precautious. We have to wear our masks and we have to practice social distancing. So please, I hope everybody will follow the guidelines and wear masks, even outside when you're within 6 feet of anyone and at all times inside. So please, this is a matter of not just you, it's a matter of respect for other people. And I don't think anybody wants to feel like they're responsible for getting someone else sick or for actually having infected a loved one and then having them die from it. So we must continue to be vigilant, and I thank those that are doing so. I'm going to share some distress and dismay. I hope that some of you had a good holiday, a good 4th of July. I know that many of you did not, because I've been receiving the phone calls, the emails, the texts. The council members have been receiving the phone calls, the emails, the texts about the illegal use of fireworks in York City. And I'm really dismayed that people would choose to take a holiday that is meant to show respect for the United States of America and turn it into something that is now showing blatant disrespect for your neighbors and the people of not just this city, but the cities across the Commonwealth and the suburbs across the Commonwealth. And even in the country, my friend's family lost a barn this past weekend full of memorabilia from the family. Luckily, no lives were lost there, but this fireworks thing has just got to stop. And I'm committed to doing everything that I can to try and get the state to turn itself around, correct its mistake. This was a horrible, horrible experiment. And we know I have the police or the fire chief with me. Perhaps he can share a few words about some of the accidents. I know Vice President Walker just got off of the call here, the meeting, but we almost lost Mr. Sandy's Veterans Shelter. Thankfully, we had a hero that stepped up. There was a dumpster on fire because of fireworks landing right next to it, almost caught the building on fire. Luckily, we had a hero step up and move a dumpster so that the building wouldn't catch on fire. But yeah, I'm pretty passionate right now about this, so I'm hoping that the chief will, in a calm voice, share what feel like I'm unable to right now.
Thank you, Mayor. The weekend was, for lack of better terms, frustrating. The fire department alone within the city of York responded to 14 different fires between Friday night and Saturday night. 12 of those alone were Saturday night. Saturday night alone, we had an estimated fire loss of $170,000 within the city of York, all due to fireworks. Whether that was residential structures, a commercial structure, trash fires, brush fires, you name it, we were running them from one end of the city to the other. It was very, very frustrating because, as the mayor said, the state is bringing in revenue for the fireworks sales, which ultimately come down to the funding to respond to these incidents to the municipal level. Every time we pull out the door, it costs city taxpayers money. Every time we pull out the door for a garbage can on fire because of fireworks may affect a 2-year-old around the corner having a heart attack or a cardiac event, and give us a longer response time because now we have to send a different engine coming from a different station. So there's a lot of back end things that people are not thinking about. We're not out to spoil anybody's fun. That's not what this is about. This is about what's legal and what's safe for the citizens of York. Just because you could purchase fireworks within the state of Pennsylvania does not mean you could shoot them off in the particular municipality you live in. There are laws associated with that. 150 feet from any structure. That shoots out the city right there off the bat because it has to be on private property. You can't shoot from the street. You can't shoot from public land. So parks are out. Obviously, the streets are out. Other large areas throughout the city are private property, so you can't shoot them there. There's nowhere physically within the city of York that we can legally and safely fire fireworks. And this weekend, by far, has been the worst weekend since the Act 43 of 2017 took place. It has been by far the most costly for the city of York. And, by far it has been the most frustrating for fire and police departments within the city because we're addressing one issue and 3 or 4 are going off, a block over or the next house over. So it's going from one to another and chasing, basically almost felt like a dog chasing his tail. You get one shut down and 4 more would kick back up. So how do we address this? The mayor, the police commissioner, and I have talked quite a bit about this, and we're going to look at some different options, maybe think outside the box a little bit, which we just got to do some research on. But my deputy and I talked this weekend. He has 29 years in this department. I have almost 26, and this is by far the worst 4th of July I've ever celebrated in my life. It is frustrating. People are getting hurt. We had 10 people displaced because of fire due to fireworks, 6 adults, 4 children, and which was not put out yet. We had to wake every single one of those people up. They were already in bed. So what if we're out on a trash fire, and now these houses catch fire? Now we're delayed. There's a risk of 10 lives being lost in one single incident because of fireworks. So please heed the mayor's message. They are not legal to shoot off in the city. You could purchase them, and again, that was what we heard most of the weekend was, well, we could buy them. That I agree. You can purchase them in the state of Pennsylvania, but you cannot shoot them off within the boundaries of the city of York. If you have questions on it, please feel free to email the fire department. We can explain the laws to you. We can explain what exactly is a 100-foot distance or 150-foot distance, where you can go. It's just the mayor was actually kind to give it to me because I thought I was the one angry. He was. We had quite some conversations over the weekend of joint frustration. So please heed the mayor's warning, and there is no legal place within the city of York to shoot off fireworks.
Thank you, Chief. And just to clarify, when we say thinking outside the box, we're going to try and find every penalty available to go after these people that are basically acting like terrorists in our community. I mean, when you shoot off fireworks into your neighbor's house, what do you think that is? They don't disappear. I mean, a percentage of them goes out. A percentage goes out. But there's a percentage that does not. They're landing on roofs. They're landing in flammable materials. And it's not just that. It's not just people that are homeless. There was an individual last night, very, very seriously injured. I won't go into more details right now, but we're all saying prayers, and we're very concerned for a man's life because of all this running. If you imagine this, every time one of our emergency vehicles puts on its sirens and has to go through red lights and stuff like that, we are creating another dangerous situation. And one of those dangerous situations resulted in a major accident with one of our fire engines last night. And so we're very, very concerned about that as well. I wish there was some way. I know that there were people calling for us to send more police out. Well, guess what? We had police out on overtime because of 2 murders over the last week and a half. You know, we can't just, we don't have unlimited resources, and we can't just keep putting people out there. There's a limited amount of time that the individuals are allowed to work. There's a limited amount of money. We're just so frustrated. So I hope that you will please continue to make calls, and we will do what we can. But I hope you will understand our frustration and the fact that we do not have the resources to try to stop hundreds and hundreds of people that are breaking the law all at the same time. I mean, this is turning into, or certainly this past weekend, after COVID and human rights protests and now fireworks. I mean, this is, it's getting a little overwhelming. I'll say that. And I'll say that as a personal feeling, but I know it's overwhelming to also the directors and the employees of the city of York and the council members, if I may speak for them, because I know that they have been receiving a lot of calls too. And everybody expects us to do something, but we have been put in a situation that, and a situation purely caused by the state government, so they can get $7.5 million a year. So just in case you're doing the math, the cost for all of our quality of life to the people representing us in Harrisburg is $7.5 million. That's for all the fires in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh and Erie and York and Lancaster, for all the people, for the people with PTSD that are suffering from this, for the children that are being woken up and scared to death, for the pets that are hiding under the beds, all of that. $7.5 million is our price tag. So thanks, Harrisburg. Appreciate it. I don't have anything positive to go out on. I'm sorry. I'm so upset. And I tried to reserve myself, but this has got to stop. And I hope that if you have a relative or a friend that is committing one of these acts, these illegal acts, that you will say something to them and say, don't you realize that that firework could end up burning down a house and killing children? That's what we're facing right now. And again, it was only by the grace of God that we did not lose adults and children this weekend from these fires. So please, everybody, we've got to stick together. We cannot let this holiday turn into a symbol of disrespect for each other. Let's pull back together. Remember what it's about. It's supposed to be about respect for our country and for the citizens and your neighbors and your family. That's what the 4th of July is supposed to be about. And I hope we can do something about this. So have a good week, everybody.